taking the paracetamol. I'm pushing myself to the limit. I've got to play tomorrow anyway for the club, and after tomorrow it's going to be a busy week. So okay. That was a shame. I was on my winning streak. I was on the peak rating on the 15-minute auto parry. A big winning streak, but it had to end. Okay, but anyway, let's play D4. Try and play solid game or two. Different from E4. Okay, Queen's game declined. Whoa! Get to play against the Dutch Stonewall. That'll be fun. So I'll try and swap the dark square bishops. I used to play actually D4 before E4. Well, quite a lot. Well, I played everything actually under the sun. I'm a bit of a Bronstein, I think. I hope this is going to be okay. But yeah, I want to try and exchange off the dark square bishops when I get a chance. So something like Queen C1. Maybe kick away that knight. Whoa! Okay, if I kick away the knight here, or knight D3, I think Queen C1 first. Okay. So this is going to be tricky. I'm in for an onslaught, it seems, on the king's side. Not sure how to deal with it. Whoa, F3, knight G3 maybe? With a vicious attack, so I better be careful. What about E3? Let him come with his queen after? Tricky. What about taking on E4 then F3? That would blunt some of the attack. I think I might go for that. So there's no knight G3. I'm hoping that's going to blunt the attack a little bit. Otherwise I'm in big trouble. But I think bishop A3 would also blunt the attack. If I can get rid of that attacking bishop. Maybe I should do that here. Bishop A3 here. That was part of the original strategy for this. I'm just a bit concerned. That pawn is dangerous now on E4. But say I did get rid of the dark square bishops, then I don't know, F3 after, knight C2 to E3, depriving myself of D3 for E5 control. Okay, I've got my water here. Evian. Okay, so F3 here, I'm controlling now that diagonal, so what about F3 here? Trying to share this F file, maybe I can get an attacking pressure going on the F file. Maybe he's going to let me use Queen G5 if he plays Queen E8 to go there. Queen G5, Rook G6, but he's going to waste time, isn't he? With Rook G6, maybe Queen H5. I'll disrupt this plan. Now if he takes, then knight takes F3, I'm sort of sharing the F file rather cheekily. Then maybe Queen E3 on E6, knight E5, that sort of thing. Try and hammer down on D5 later. Okay. It's nice to have a change of scenery anyway in the D4 systems. So Dutch Stonewall, sometimes it's quite easy to talk about Dutch Stonewall games because strategically it's simple, simplified. There's a fixed pawn structure. There's dark square weaknesses. This is a classic strategic issue. The dark square weaknesses clearly. Now declining that does give me a free reign over that diagonal. So unless that bishop's really going to sacrifice on G3, I'm not really sure. I'm not convinced. Also takes, knight E4 is Rook F8. I can win the queen. Maybe even the tactic works. Of Bishop E4, but he's on D4. Hang on. So maybe Knight C2 just to connect rooks potentially. Okay, Knight C2. Now Knight G4 looks dangerous, but there's Rook F8 still. So what about Queen E3? Knight G4, Queen E4. D5? I don't know really. I think this looks artificial. This Rook on H6. This Rook on H6. By the way, I'm also uploading 1 Hour Warzone, which a lot of people just resigned to me out of fear, I think, from the rating. And I lost a few games, but I managed to come fourth. So that was quite good because, well, it was a strong tournament. So Queen E3, but that's going to be a while, probably, or maybe after this video anyway. So if you're into 2-minute chess, stay tuned for later. So here, okay, so D takes, bishop takes. Nope. What about just Queen E3, Knight G4, Queen E4? There's always Rook F8 after. So I think I'll go for this. Queen E3 looks provocative. Actually, there's Rook H2, maybe Rook F6. It's getting complicated because otherwise King takes Knight G4. So Rook F6 for Rook H2. I don't like the attacking prospects. This bishop, this knight, this bishop. On the other hand, should I feel comfortable? I've got this F file. Maybe the centre is the key to sort of counter attack as well as the F file. D takes and then Rook D1. Queen moves somewhere. Knight D4, maybe to go to F5 later. D5, is that possible? Queen H6 is a queen sacrifice if Rook E8, Rook F6. Interesting, Tau-like. Threatening maybe Rook F8 in the future. I'll double up rooks, I'll be threatening Rook F8. There's Bishop E4, that's interesting to bear in mind anyway. Okay, so he's undermining my king safety. If I take... or Queen G5... or D takes here for Rook D1. Maybe D takes and get that centre, just in case it's handy. I think I'll try that. I think would you Bishop E6 to C5 or Bishop C5. So I'll try and get this central control. Wonder if it has any real implication here. It does look a bit dangerous, this position for me. So I might get blasted. I don't know. Also, his bishop will be protecting F6, so this queen sack idea is not going to be on the cards for a while. So what about okay, the queen, where is it going to move though? So I'm controlling D4 at least, so there might be Knight D4. Maybe I should just take on H3 while I've got a chance, but now Queen C8 is a bit of a pain. I could sacrifice the exchange with Bishop E4 to keep the light square bishop. If he wants Bishop F1, Rook F1. His rook's still misplaced, so maybe that exchange sack here is worth doing. He is threatening to just take and then Queen H3, pretty crushing and simple. Yes. All there. Bishop E4, exchange sack for a pawn. You can always take on F1, then Queen H3. There's Rook F2, there's Knight G4 there. This is tricky. What about Rook F2, there's Knight G4. Oh dear. What do I do? Okay, panic. Bishop H1, there's Knight G4 or something. I've just kicked his queen to an aggressive square. That doesn't really help the situation. So Bishop E4, Bishop F1, Rook F1, Queen H3. Panic. Queen F2, there's Knight G4. Nope. Can't see it here. What about Rook F2, Knight G4? Looks pretty gruesome. So much for the centre. What about Bishop E7 actually for Rook D8? So actually that might be the way forward here. Bishop e7 for bishop f6. So bishop g2, rook d8 takes us 3 pieces, but on king g2, rook h2 there, that would be pretty nasty. King g1. I think I'm going to go for that. Just try and knock out. Well, it uses that d8 square. Bishop f6 and rook f6 for queen h6. Old idea, revisited. Okay, am I in big trouble? I assume I'm in big trouble here. Bishop g2, rook d8. Queen takes the 8, bishop takes the 8, king takes. There's also knight g4. Looks dangerous, as well as rook h2. Maybe rook h2 I take, knight g4, move the king, takes. I've got the queen protected. Oh dear, what is going on here? How many pieces will I lose there after bishop g2? Bishop down for get the queen, lose a rook and a bishop. Get the bishop up, get the rook and knight back for the queen. I think I'm worse there. So let's start examining this again. What about rook takes f6 there? To threaten rook d8. Rook f6, bishop f6, then rook d8. Win the queen, king g2. There's no vicious rook h2. That might be the way to do this. Rook f6 also threatens rook f8. Queen h3. Blimey. No, I think I have to do rook d8. I could play, I don't know, what about queen h6? Takes rook d8, takes. Nope, I think I'm worse here. Oh dear. This looks tactically dodgy, this position. If I have to play rook d8, very dodgy indeed. Let's go for it again. Bishop takes g2. I play rook d8 check. He takes, I take. Now he's got various options here. He could play bishop f1, maybe bishop f6 there. So if he plays rook d8, I play king takes g2. He's got rook h2. I can ignore it with king g1. There's no bishop d4 in that position because the knight covers d4. Okay. If his queen comes to g4, okay. It's quite committal to play bishop takes g2. Is there any other brilliant idea here to consider? There's this rook takes f6 again to consider to knock out that knight. But then maybe queen h3, it's really dangerous. Okay, interesting. So if I take this here, I think I have to take that. Otherwise this knight is extremely dangerous. Mind you now, I don't know, bishop g2, it's all getting a bit crazy. Queen h3 is probably... And there's queen h6 there. Nope. Can I make a run for it with my king? King takes queen h3, king f2. Nope, rook f6 is winning. And this bishop e5, queen h3. Queen f4, queen h2, king f2. I don't think so. So probably bishop g2 is pretty dangerous. Oh dear. Bad, this hack attack. I'm going to be a victim of a hack attack. Oh dear. So bishop takes e5. Queen h3. Oh no, what about queen takes h6? Stem the attack. Then rook f2. Actually, doesn't that win that bishop? Rook f2, it traps the bishop. So I think I might go for that. So queen h3, queen h6, takes, and then rook f2, hopefully trapping that bishop with its own queen. Well, exciting anyway. So I don't see any other defence after queen h3 anyway. So probably material situation at the moment. 2 rooks, knight, bishop and queen versus 2 rooks. Piece up at the moment. So rook and thingy for queen is not that bad. Oh, he hasn't done that. Okay. So, okay, his bishop's in pre. So if I play bishop f4 and he plays queen h3, he's threatening mate. And rook takes as queen h2. Let's try again on that. So queen takes e4. Might give an escape scout for the king. If I just play rook takes f1, is that too simple? Queen takes e5. And be content with that position. At least my king. I'm the exchange down. But maybe rook f4 or knight d4. I think I'm going to go for that exchange down. Just looks a bit safer, although the exchange down. Maybe rook f4, knight d4, that sort of thing. There's a check. It's a shame. It's a shame. I seem to have stumbled into a vicious attack. So equal on pawns, exchange down, but am I losing the knight or something? I'm not getting mated. So knight d4 to f5 at some point. Interesting. Okay, okay. Let's think about it. Rook e8, knight d4. So I might be threatening knight f5. If he plays rook f6, maybe rook takes e4, just for that battery on e8. Queen b2, there might be queen e4, just protecting the knight on c2. There's no major check. I just play king g2. So I assume he's going to protect e4 here, try and make him back away from his attack. It's getting a bit short on time, getting down to 4 minutes. Okay. Okay, so what's going on? Why isn't he playing rook e8 that quickly? Knight d4, he's a bit worried here. What about queen d4, just getting the exchange down? Maybe you can play rook f6 and force the exchange of rooks, because something like rook g4, rook f8 is mating on there. Unless the knight's saving the day, I'm not really sure. Okay, knight d4 here looks good for knight f5. So with tempo just to get to f5. If I get f5, knight f5 in, maybe g4. Maybe rook f5. Queen moves away. Is rook f5 any good? Queen moves away. Or knight f5. Knight f5. Maybe g4 if rook f8. And then rook e4. So I think I'm attracted with knight f5. Is that too committal? Rook f8, g4. g5, the rook can move back. g6. There's knight h6 maybe. Okay, so what about c5 and knight d6? If I play king g2, c5, knight d6, I'll have compensation with the exchange, surely. It's going into severe time pressure, he's stopping that c5. That's a pain. If I just play king g2 here then. possibly he's going to play queen. He hasn't got queen d4, it's the knight's on it. Okay, so I just get my king a bit safer for g4, which I assume I'm going to have to play soon. Unless queen f2, g6, knight h6. Okay, where's the rook going? If I play something like h4, maybe to stop g5s, that could be handy as well. Okay, I'm weakening my king a bit. Something like queen f2 and rook g4 could be dangerous. Just h5 to stop g6 is discourage g6. Would leave that knight on f5 being quite strong. Then maybe g4. Not how strategically I turned out to be sort of the exchange down, but it's getting a bit too short on time surely here for practical purposes. Oh, he's going to mate me on somewhere. I'll play h5 because there's no queen a1, there's no queen g1 just yet, so I can play rook g4 with queen a1. So h5 I think. Okay, so a tricky position. I hope tricky for both sides. If I have queen f2, queen f2, then there's knight h6 as a threat. So I think queen f2 it is. Probably better than g4 to threaten that knight h6. In fact, e3 is knight h6. If king g7 there, rook f7, king h6. Maybe just if e3. What about just queen f3? That's less committal, especially since it's so short on time, because I don't think this knight h6 is that sound. g6, knight h6, king g7. So my queen's attacked. If I play rook f7, he just plays takes. So I think queen f3, and there's no major checks, but he could come round with queen a1. No, there's knight h6 there, surely. That's more dangerous than the other position. If I get in rook f7 takes, queen f4 check. So it's coming down to a minute. I'm just getting very time critical. Okay. I don't think e3 is good because it weakens second rank. g4 it's probably unless evil just to support the knight. Any g6 there's knight h6. So I think g4. Frees up the queen a little bit. If I need to just have one piece protecting f5. But can he really beat me with 40 seconds? It's very, very time critical now. I mean, I'm the exchange down, but okay. Moves which don't lose. I think I've got to I've got to be wary of. Oh, what about queen takes c5? And if g6, I'm losing a piece successfully. Unless knight d6 there. Then knight f7 takes back row issue with queen c8, isn't there? Queen g8, no. Okay, so it's easy to lose this position. What about just knight e3, just accepting, just being the exchange down? So he takes, and it's not an easy way to exchange of queens, and maybe I can play h6 after. I'm attacking his rook anyway. He plays rook d2, I play king f2. I'm sort of trying to threaten h6 there. I think that's an okay idea, even though it does get rid of one of the rooks. I could wait for g6 to improve that. But what waiting move? I could just play a waiting move like a4. So g6, knight e3. There's no knight d6. Okay. I'll go for that then. So I'm waiting for g6 to weaken that diagonal. Okay. Now I don't want to play g5 because queen h5, so this is a bit panicky, this situation now. Knight d6, rook f4 might actually be okay. Queen f4. Knight takes e4 after that. Pardon me. Stomach growling. Okay, I think I can get away with knight d6 because of knight e4. I'm going to go for that. Oh, he's got a nasty pin. Queen b8. There's knight f7. Okay. So I attack the queen. Threatening knight f7. If I don't get mated in 20 seconds, this is quite promising. Right. So knight takes e4, queen h4 threatens mate, but queen f8. So I can play knight takes, and maybe knight f2 if I need to really defend. So I think knight takes e4 here. Oh, there's rook d4, there's king f3. I think that's okay. I'm threatening queen b8. Okay, so just h6 here, just undermining. Is king safety, or knight g3 protects e2. It's got like 0 seconds here. A5, pawn sacrifice, rook f8. I think I'll move. I'll just play a5. He's just lost on time. Yeah, it's just too much time pressure. So yeah, that was a bit of a kingside onslaught. Oh dear. Oh dear, I wouldn't recommend that against oh dear, he's examining it. Okay. Well, there were lots of things which probably won for him with this attack. It was very dangerous. Can we just go back? If I just try and go back. Let me go back. This variation. Looks dangerous. There's no bishop d4. Knight g4. Bishop takes here. Well, this is one of the better post-mortems I've had. We seem to be exchanging ideas here. So queen and knight, yes, he's materially better here. The 2 rooks and 2 bishops, big material advantage. Yep, yep, that's crushing. Knight e3. And just rook f8. Oh, that'll be crushing. Whoa. So yeah, I think that was cool. End of game. So yep. So just allowing that. Yeah, so bishop takes g2. Good position. I thought he had a winning attack here. Too complicated. Well, he has to do the queen sack. So rook d8 takes, bishop takes. It's got points. So if king takes, rook takes. Material up, yep. Yep. Material up. Horrible. And also h2's hanging. Okay. Yes, that's horrible. Okay. just say well played. Unlucky. Alright, comments or questions on YouTube. So yeah, that's not how the that's not how to play against the Stonewall. Oh dear, this was really dangerous. Oh dear. Knight takes e4, probably not best. Maybe better is f4 here. And if I played f4 anyway. Let's just go back once more. So how to parry this attack? I certainly didn't parry it well. I don't think this knight e4 is that good. Unless f4, maybe here. That stop a lot of this. That's queen e8 trying to get in. Maybe I can shore up Bogolubov style against the other guy with h4. It doesn't look too good. But maybe, no, I don't know. No, it looks pretty bad. Oh dear. Comments or questions on YouTube anyway, so I was a bit lucky there in the game continuation. Thanks so much.